Hey, book lovers, welcome back to Shelf Addiction, the podcast where we dive deep into the pages of thriller and fantasy reads. I'm your host, Tamara, and welcome to the monthly Shelf Download, your high-value intel on the book world delivered once a month. I'm breaking down the headlines you need to know, the adaptations everyone's watching and looking forward to, and exactly what's on my currently reading shelf, as well as what's in store for the next month's releases. From industry news to the buzziest new releases, I'm doing the research so you don't have to. If you're a book lover who wants the ultimate download, grab your headphones. It's time for the briefing. But first, a quick heads up. If you crave the full visual experience and want to ditch the ads, head on over to Patreon. You'll unlock ad-free video episodes, exclusive after shows, and other bonus content. First up, it's finally happened. After years of us begging and creating our own workarounds, Goodreads has finally launched and did not finish shelf. No more marking books as read just to get it off your currently reading list or having your stats ruined by books you actually hated. It's rolled out already, and the early reports say the formatting is a little chaotic. All lowercase and full of dashes, but hey, we're taking the win when we can get it, right? Now, for me, I had already created a did not finish shelf of my own, and I had made it so that it shows in the top with the others. And actually, I have a couple of additional shelves that I created on my own, and they show there. Like I have a may read someday shelf and a DNF may finish later shelf. And of course, DNF, which has changed to did not finish. I can see where, Goodreads has taken liberties and changed my shelf title DNF to did not finish. So that's good. But I had already made the shelf and placed it in that category, so I could have flagged things myself. But for those who haven't already figured out how to do that and did it on their own, the shelf is now available for use. So I have my original shelves that I built, the one, including the one that Goodreads has taken liberty and adjusted to did not finish. Although, like I mentioned earlier, it is strange that they didn't change it to how it looks for want to read, currently reading, and read. All of those have uppercase letters with no dashes, but the did not finish shelf is all lowercase with the dashes. That is very inconsistent. So like I said, hey, I guess we take the win where we can get it. But if you're into seeing things that look the way they're supposed to, that's going to flag for you. It did for me when I looked at mine. I was like, okay, they just did the least amount possible to get this done. But hey, it's Goodreads. What do we expect? With that said, if you did not already have a did not finish or a DNF shelf, do you see a new one from that Goodreads did? Does yours show in all lowercase with the hyphens in between? Or do you see it a different way? I'm curious to know what yours looks like. If you had one that was adapted, how does that look now? And regarding the DNFs, if you did not have that shelf previously, are you immediately moving books to the new shelf? Does the lowercase did not finish with the hyphens, the change in the naming convention, bother your inner organizer? It did for me. And speaking of how we read, Audible has just launched their read and listen feature. This is essentially bringing the immersion reading directly to your Audible app. You can now follow along with synchronized highlighted text while you listen. It's perfect for those high intensity thrillers where you don't want to miss a single clue. Or for me, I use it for those massive fantasy worlds like the one I'm reading now, where you need to see the names to actually remember them. I mentioned last month that Spotify had something that does the exact same thing, creating more competition for Amazon. Now, Amazon has done the same thing. I guess we can have AI to thank for this because that is fully an AI intervention. Have you tried either of these? Which do you prefer? Moving over to page to screen, we have a major announcement for the dark romance fans. Navessa Allen's Lights Out has been optioned by Netflix. If you haven't heard of this one, it's a viral TikTok sensation, a dark stalker vibes romance about a trauma nurse and a vigilante hacker is being developed into a series by Hannah Schneider. And honestly, after the success of Heated Rivalry on HBO, it feels like streamers are going to finally realize that romance is a powerhouse genre. And you did hear me chuckle a little bit when I described this book because I read Lights Out. Casey and I did here on the podcast, and you should go back into the history and find out what we thought about Lights Out. Now, I think maybe that's not my genre per se, because we had thoughts, okay? And I know usually I go against the grain with TikTok sensations, but I am curious to see what this looks like on a TV. How silly is this going to get? Is this going to be really hot? Is it going to be eye rolling? I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with these characters, especially because there are some things that happen in that book that we're supposed to take pretty seriously. And it's kind of like, oh my God, you can't be this kind of person and then act like this. Go back and listen to that episode, guys. But if you are a huge Lights Out fan, are you excited for this page to screen adaptation? What are your theories on who is going to be selected for the roles? I haven't seen anything yet. Do you have some favorites? Leave comments and let me know. And for the sci-fi lovers, A24, the kings of prestige weird, just announced they are adapting a Barack Obama approved bestseller, The Ministry of Time, written by Kayleen Bradley. It was also a Good Morning America book club pick if you're into that. It was a Goodreads winner for readers' favorite science fiction in 2024. This book wasn't on my radar, but it is now. I like a lot of the stuff that A24 puts out, and I love a good sci-fi. So this has been added to my TBR. This high-budget TV adaptation is already getting a ton of buzz. Between a dark masked man romance and a presidential-approved sci-fi epic, the 26-27 watch list is already looking entertaining. So let me ask you a question. Book Talk fans, Lights Out fans, do you think Netflix can handle the dark elements of Lights Out? Or are they going to water it down and make it a comedy? What do you think? And as for A24, I think they are the right place for a cerebral sci-fi fantasy. Like I said, I've liked their stuff before, so this seems like it's in the right hands. Let me ask you a final question. When it comes to the dark romance adaptations, do you want them to keep all trigger warnings on the screen, or should some things stay on the page? My shelf is looking a little different this month. For the Shelf Addiction Book Club, we are tackling The Beast, The Strength of the Few. This is the start of a long-term read-along, so this month we are reading the first half. The world building is already making my head spin a little bit, and if you were in book club last month, at the end of The Will of the Many, we were all like, what was that? What happened? What made the author do this? So that was very interesting. And so now we are diving into part 2, the first half of part 2. And on the podcast and book club, we are wrapping up the Tether Trilogy with its finale, Lethal Souls by Shanora Williams. It's been a wild ride with this series, and I have some thoughts on how it all concludes. For the thriller side of things, we are discussing Anatomy of an Alibi by Ashley Eltson. Now, this, you guys, is coming to the podcast next week, y'all. So if you like this book, you'll want to hear what me and Classy have to say about it. So make sure you're subscribed and you follow the podcast so that you'll be notified when that discussion goes live. So unfortunately for me, my solo reading time is limited this month. I have so much going on with my day job. I really don't have the time to read anything beyond these 3 books this month. So I'm really sad that I can't really fit in anything solo. I'm just barely scraping by with these 3 books. Maybe next month that will change. But anyway, let me know what you're reading this month in the month of March. Let me know what's good, what's bad, what you're loving, what you're hating, all the things. If you're in the Shelf Addiction Book Club, for those of you diving into The Strength of the Few with us, how are you taking notes? Are you just letting the chaos of the world building wash over you, or are you drawing lines, highlighting, making comments in the margins? Let me know all the things. Finally, we're going to look at my April preview. I have 3 titles that are in my purview, and they are added to my TBR. First, for fans of My Sister, The Serial Killer, and the Age of Vice. We have a high-octane thriller from Amin Ahmad called A Kill in the Family, out April 7th. It's a con artist versus con artist story that's supposed to be absolutely relentless. For me, the draw to this book is people mentioning power dynamics, family drama, secrets, and murder, and of course, mystery. At the time of this airing, March 11th, 2026, there is a Goodreads book giveaway open for 2 more days. You want to head on over right now to check it out for a chance to win your own copy. Then for my romantasy lovers, Meg Schaefer, who wrote The Wishing Game, is releasing The Book Witch, also on April 7th. It's about a woman who can literally travel into books, but she breaks a cardinal rule and falls for a fictional detective. The blurb starts with, she can hop into any novel, she just can't stay there. What's not to love about that? There's also a giveaway for that on Goodreads running for the next 20 days as of today's air date. And finally, on April 14th, we are headed to a ghost town with Jane Harper's new one, The Last One Out. If you like mysteries that are slow burn and atmospheric, Harper never misses. Harper has been on my TBR for a while, and I keep wanting to get to her, but maybe this time it will happen. I'm super excited for this one, and the early reviews are great. Which of these are your day one read? Are any of these on your radar? Have you already pre-purchased any of these? Let me know. Also, if you have any romantasy, thrillers, fantasy, sci-fi, any of that, if you have any that you think I'll like, go ahead and let me know what it is. That's a wrap on the March download. We've got a new Goodreads shelf to organize, a Netflix adaptation to prepare for, and an April TBR that's already looking dangerous for our wallets. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review. It absolutely is the best way for other book lovers to find the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on our deep dive into the Tether Trilogy finale later this month. Before I go, I want to see who the real ones are. If you listened all the way to the end, head on over to the latest post on the Shelf Addiction Instagram and drop a candle emoji in the comments. It'll be our little secret signal that you're a part of the Full Shelf Club. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, remember, keep your TBR high and your spoilers tagged. See you guys next time. Take care. Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the book club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.